Another week, back to back, the repeats, going back to back, you know what I mean? Welcome to another episode of the Man Lucrative Podcast. I am your host, the one only Magneto7 in the building. I'm here. I'm officially here. This episode is brought to you by Safe Tire Auto. Listen, if you need some tires, you need some oil changes, you need the brakes, you need whatever you need on the car, go over there to Safe Tire. Tell them Magneto7 sent you from the Man Lucrative Podcast, all right? All right, let's see who been here rocking with me. Listen. I have just finished doing the pre-show. This joint, I had fun. So this is what I started doing. What up, Big Jack? What up, Caleb? What up? DJ Password, what up? Hold up, DJ Password Reset. Let me put some respect on his name. So what I started doing, this is for everybody that's watching on YouTube. What I started doing is I started playing independent music again because I want to show some love. Y'all know how I am. I just love people. I love to shine a light on the people that need the light, right? So it was one guy, The Thing. I think he called himself Thing or The Thing is one of them. Yo, Buddy was ridiculous. He was ridiculous. So I played some records from him. Well, I played one record from him. He feels like, wait, pause. Not no feel. He don't feel like nothing. I'm a man, David. He don't feel like nothing. The music that he produced felt great. He reminds me of like a Common or like somewhere in that Chicago area. So then I played a Chance the Rapper record right after. Yo, he is fire. Go check him out. If you ain't joined the Patreon, go join the Patreon. You can see the whole pre-show. Duh. Or as my New York people say, stupid. I love New York people. I love y'all. Y'all are so cool. But anyway, I got a whole show lined up for y'all. I don't think I had too much crazy stuff that happened over the weekend. I did see it because y'all sent it to me, and I caught the tail end of it. The OnlyFans doc. I saw it. All right, so look, this is the thing. Look, the OnlyFans doc was pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I'm going to tell you why. So I'm looking at the show. Again, I'm in here mixing the record down. I'm in the studio mixing the record down for an artist. He got a project that's about to drop, so y'all will hear about that later on. But I'm mixing the record down. I turn the TV on. I think I'm on Fox 5 or NBC, ABC, one of the main networks. And I see OF. So I'm like, wait, how is OF on the main network television? Like, what is happening right now? So I'm sitting and watching. Thank you for that, Jack. So I'm sitting and watching that. I'm watching the doc. And then I see Black China. I see Amber Rose. I see some white guys. He's some white guy. And then it's an older couple. Right? So I noticed something too. This is a trend. This is a trend that I'm noticing. For most of the younger black women, besides Amber Rose is like, yo, I did it and I'll do it again. And I made some bags. I made M's. The guy said, how much money do you feel like you've made on OF? She said, a lot. I said, that girl been talking to 21 Savage. She made a lot. So I'm going to assume, I think it's safe to assume Amber has made at least 10 million plus on OF alone. But anyway, she's one of the people that said, I would never do it again. I would never do another OF account. And no matter how much money you try to offer me, I'm not going to do it. So I was like, yeah, okay. All right. I believe you. Yeah. So anyway, I'm watching this doc and it's an older couple that's super excited about the content that they create. And I think the husband was a retired school teacher or something. It was like real regular jobs, right? So he's going in and he's like, yeah, we invested $80,000 to start shooting our content. I said, 80 bands? Ooh, wee, sweet Jesus. Okay. They got the Sony Blacks to shoot the OF joints. So they're talking about all of their escapades and how they like to create content together. And this is the thing. And I posed the question in my chat. I'm going to pose the question right here on YouTube. What up, Pastor Savage? What up? What up? What up, Official Mains? What up? What up? What up, Big Rob? So I'm going to pose the question for everybody, right? This is the question I want to pose. If you were in dire need, now I got to add some sauce to it. If you were in dire need and you needed income, you needed some cash, would you yourself, watching this right now, would you create an OF account? And then if you were to create an OF account, what type of content would you create? Right? And this is just things that you have to think about because, all right, truth moment. In my broke season, if I had other options besides Uber, or like I drove Uber in the Durango. That was just trash. I would go pick up, and this is stuff that people don't be talking about. I know all of the pockets. I know the pockets. I did a lot of this stuff. So what would happen is I would drive the Durango, go pick up people, and granted, I could charge more for the pickup, but at the end of the day, you still got to get some gas in that joint. You still trying to take some type of profit, and you're still beating up your truck or your car or whatever. You're still beating it up as far as like the maintenance goes. So, and tires and all this stuff, right? So let's say if you're driving Uber right now, even if you're making $1,000 for the week, and that's hustling, that's real hustling. Even if you're making $1,000 for the week, you're still going to spend about $200 to $300 of that per week. You're still going to spend that on gas, and it's not a clean cut $1,000 that's in your pocket. So anyway, if I had the option to do an OF account back in the day, and let's say it wasn't naughty content, let's just say it's just random content like beat making. If I was a beat maker with a wife beat on, something just go crazy, right? Yo, yes, I would have done the account. So I get when people start to create their accounts. I think my issue is when you say I have resentment. I resented this. I don't know. You know, they asked me to do it, and I just had to do it. And I mean, no, you didn't have to do it. You chose to do it. That was the option that you had at the moment, and you live in it. Maybe you are a person that feel like you got to explain some stuff to some folk. All right, cool. That's on you. Explain what you need to do. But it's no. So the OF girls, all the OF dudes, yo, salute. Now, as a Christian, I'm going to tell y'all this. It is kind of not cool to do that. It's kind of not cool. I'm just saying, if you're in dire need, because we can't save the world. One man can't save the world. Did Kelly make that song? One man. No, it's Chris Brown. Okay. Thank Jesus. Because I thought that was R. Kelly that wrote One Man Can't Change the World. Kelly has wrote some bangers. All right, let me see what you said in the chat right quick. Rob said, I just bought a new Durango and flooded my... Yo, the Durango, I love the Durango. It was a cool truck at the moment. Now, I'm sure your goods, but mine got repoed. And y'all thought y'all are lame for that. Some of y'all thought that was funny last week. I was like, it was repoed. Y'all thought that was funny. It's fine. I'll take it. It's funny to me too. All right, so full show. We got Dame that's came to the stage. We got Drake showing back up in the streets. And we got a lot of producers getting their beats stole. My type of conversation. So let's get started. The first one is going to be Druski. So this is the thing, all right? And I know I got a lot of different types of followers. Listen, unfortunately, there will be folk that will hit a nerve. And the way I look at things, all right, if you don't hit a nerve with your content in some type of way, whether that's a good nerve, an irritating nerve, if you don't hit one of them nerves on people's scale, then guess what? I feel like you don't have a good show. You have to have something where people connect. You got to have something where people are connecting and they'll say, okay, that was dope. And you know, I'm going to do this. You got to have something for people to grab, right? For the OF girls, it's the body. It's all of the obscene things that they do, and you know, the sale of that. If it's on a guy that's a supercar type of person and they just love cars, they love muscle cars. All right, well, the sale is, yo, look, we got a car show coming up. You got to find what it is that sells your content. You got to find what it is, and then as soon as you find it, double down on it. You got to double down on it. So the first person I want to bring to the stage is Druski. I absolutely love the majority of the stuff that Druski does because I think he's hilarious, and I think he's hitting a nerve. Honestly, Druski is hitting a nerve. So I turned the news on and saw that Druski was actually in trouble because y'all trying to cancel him. He created something that all comedians have already been doing. I ain't gonna front. Again, the great comedians do the same thing over and over. If you look at Dave Chappelle had Clayton Bigsby. If you look at Martin had Shanae, and he had the white guy. I don't know if y'all remember, Martin did whiteface before. He had like the curly hair and with the beige looking suit. Martin's done the same thing. Everybody that's great has done this same exact thing. So Druski is in trouble for this. And honestly, I didn't watch the whole thing because I wanted to watch it with y'all. I wanted to watch the rest of it with y'all, but let's see. Here goes nothing. See what he got. Can't hear nothing. Come
on, here's the love. Here's the honor. If you can't come in her, come on her. Yeah! Born in the USA! Woo! Born in the USA!
Yo, I ain't gonna front. This is hilarious right now.
Joanna.
She's not listening.
Hey, come up. You need to listen to your nana. Go ahead, baby.
6 o'clock.
Girl, you crazy now. Hey, me ma. How you doing, baby?
Yo, who's offended by this? First off, I'm not offended by it. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. But who's offended by this?
No, baby. He's good. All right now.
Yo, this boy is hilarious.
No, I'm going to the race. What race?
NASCAR race.
You going to NASCAR?
Yes, sir. A little bit.
You ain't lost, did you?
No, I'm good. I'm going for the race, sir.
You sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Find something safe to do, boy. Yeah. If liquor don't kill us, pussy must. Yeah! Woo! Bring on the truth, baby! Oh, that fucker will go. I think. Stand on.
You know what's funny? I don't know that any of the white people that he's coming across realizes that he's not white. I don't think they realize who he is. I don't think none of the white people that's around him understands who he is.
South Dakota.
Yeah.
Damn right. Proud to be American. Come on, boy.
All right, look, man. What you want me to say? What you want me to say? All right, so okay, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say about the whole Druski situation. I feel like a lot of y'all are tender. A lot of y'all are young tenderonis and just let folk create good comedy. This is hilarious. So, again, remember what I said when I first started. Whenever you're doing any type of content, you got to strike a nerve, whether that's a good nerve, whether that's an irritating nerve, whether it's the nerve of hate like some of the people in office be doing. Like, you have to have some type of sell when you're doing content. Content is content. Now, how you perceive it, that's on you. I don't know. And this, all of my white followers that follow me on Patreon, YouTube, wherever, right? Y'all let me know, was this what he just did? Was this a stereotype that don't nobody want to address? What would make it not so cool for him to do this type of content? Because I thought it was hilarious. Same thing as Like I said, Dave Chappelle, Clayton Bigsby. When Clayton Bigsby found out that he was not, he found out he was not white. Like, what happened? Wait. And he got mad at his wife for loving the black man. Crazy stuff. But Clayton Bigsby did it. I like it. I like this type of content. Druski, keep doing your thing, big dog. Keep doing your thing. And for all the folk that's trying to counsel him, like, find something else to do. Find something else to do. I can understand if it was a lot of. Now he had some moments where he, like when he was interacting with the black people. Okay, I can see how white folk might not like that. I can see that part. But on the average part of it, it was hilarious. That was funny, bro. Keep going. Keep going. All right. Let's get to the business. We gotta bring Dame to the stage. So yesterday I was in my truck, in my work truck, and everybody that follows me on Instagram, y'all know I be posting all the time in my stories. So I had my homeboy Derek with me, and we were having a conversation about why or how did Dame Dash get broke? At what point did Dame Dash get broke? Did he really go broke, or is it like a fragment of his imagination? Or are we putting some extra sauce on it? Like, we were trying to figure it out, and he and Derek, that's my homeboy name. He was like, man, you know what? He's effed up a lot of relationships. So now he just got to live in a lot of the stuff that's happening. And wherein I do agree with a lot of that, some of my issue is you're a grown man, right? You have to know when things are starting to take a fall, when the whole career or the whole scope of the music business is starting to take a nosedive. You have to understand it. So right now I'm looking at this article. It says Dame Dash files bankruptcy, claiming he's $25 million in debt. $25 million in debt. And he only got $4,300 to his name. I was like, well, I got a little bit more than that. And I was trying to, okay. All right. And I'm not laughing at Dame, right? Honestly, I'm conflicted. Because I do feel like Dame is one of our industry legends. I feel like he was a titan in that space as far as Rock Nation. Well, yeah, we're gonna say Rock Nation, because there would be no Rock Nation if there were no Rockefeller. There would be no Rock Nation if there was no Rockefeller. He was with the whole Rockefeller gang. So if it wasn't for that, a lot of the stuff that we see somebody else doing, it'd be different. Now, some of y'all say, well, why won't Jay just bail him out? No. All right, this is how I am. And I'm always blaming on me being a Scorpio. I'm going to blame it on me being a Scorpio. If you have done me wrong consistently over and over and over, and you've never taken accountability for your actions, but you always put it back on somebody else to say, I did this for you. I wouldn't have had no effed up relationships if I wasn't over there doing it for you. It feels like that's what Dame has been doing all of these years. What is this? At least 20 plus years. Been doing the same thing. No, it's your fault. So whenever you have somebody that says, I did this because of you, I lost this deal because of you, I was coming to take up for you, and I expect you to come bail me out when I need it. No, it's up. It's going to always be up, unfortunately. And my list is very small of people like that. I'm sure if I keep living, that list will grow a little bit longer. But this is the thing. We saw Dame over and over clown certain folk about, the boss situation. And I got footage, because I want to bring this to the forefront of the stage. I want to bring this to the stage so everybody can understand, especially the new followers, right? Us older guys, we have seen the Jay and Dame debacle for years. So we kind of know how they give it up, right? We know Jay has always done the Jay thing. He's not going to address you in no interviews. He's just going to put it in a record and he's going to sell it. He's going to monetize off of it, right? But just look at this. It's the demeanor. It's the aura behind everything. Even look at Buddy's face is right here by him. Look at him. Look at his face. I want to bring this over here because I'm looking at it like this. All right. So here we go. Look at this. Let's listen.
One of them that put their own dough up. A boss, you're only the boss if you put up your own money. If you don't put up your own money, I don't care how much somebody gives you, you're nothing but a supervisor. It's not yours. So how much money can you get paid to not? There's no money in this world for someone to pay me so they could call me, so I could call them a boss. That's like.
All right, I'm gonna say this. Everybody that subscribes to this, being the boss ain't everything. Being the boss is more than just saying it and having the demeanor and the aura. Being the boss says you have to know when more people are smarter than you. You have to know what missing pieces are missing out of your plan. A lot of the times, the person that owns the company don't make the most money. A lot of the times, the person that owns the company don't make the most money. So being the boss ain't everything. We got to make sure we check that.
Somebody daddy. How can a man call another man, yo, that's my boss? We don't do that.
I mean, everybody at some point has to have a boss, right?
No, not in Harlem. Oh, okay. Put it like this.
Because you're somebody's boss.
No, I'm not somebody's boss. When I was in the street, someone wasn't your boss. They gave you an opportunity.
Okay.
They gave you some work. You go make it, and then you bring it back. You can go buy your own work. You do whatever you want. It's called consignment.
So why this can't be all work?
You know what? I just realized this too. And again, this is why I say I'm conflicted, because Dame has been a pillar of the rap community. I'm conflicted because I think he stopped growing at some point in time. Dame stopped growing at some point in time. I do feel like he's always, I feel like he's been a dope marketer. I don't know what happened to that. But I know Dame has always been a dope marketer. But it seems like over time, he keeps doing the same thing over and over and over.
Corporate America, we could be using
you don't
this.
own it.
I'm
telling you why. Question. Let me answer your question.
I'm listening.
Can you give it to your son?
Can I give what to my son?
Whatever you
Shares
working
of this
for.
company? I
Yeah.
absolutely positively can.
How?
Right, because I own shares of this company.
You bought him?
Yes.
But I'm saying.
All right, so this is a valuable lesson. This is a valuable lesson. If you have people in your circle that's trying to encourage you to do something dumb, or they're trying to challenge what you perceive as common sense, I would say, first off, where did this person come from? Where did the knowledge come from that this person is trying to give you? Right? All street knowledge don't work in corporate America. Dang. You should know this. All street knowledge does not work in corporate America. Sometimes the street stuff can actually hinder some movement in the business arena, as we can see. And this is sad that he's dying on the hill of independence and being the boss. All right, now I gotta go to some more. I got some more footage to cover. But this is what I'm gonna say about the whole Dame thing, and I gotta start wrapping it up. When it comes to independence, and when it comes to being the owner of the businesses, and when it comes to being the boss, and when it comes to operations and all this stuff, right? All the things that consist of just owning a big brand. Rockefeller was one of the biggest brands ever. Kids, if y'all did not know, that whole Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, all that stuff, that was Rockefeller. That was not Rock Nation. Again, I said this when I first started. There would be no Rock Nation if it wasn't for Rockefeller. Rockefeller was first. It's the granddaddy. All right. But now you gotta look at how people's actions and their movement and how they position themselves. If you look at Jay, we gotta bring up Jay, because Jay is the other side of this. If you look at Jay and you look at all the business moves, and whether they were a lateral move or just a move, a vertical, lateral, however, right? You see Jay position himself with Lyor Cohen. There's somebody else we have to address. I know Dame would always call Lyor Cohen a culture vulture. And he said, man, you out here, you take it black artists, you do it black media, you capitalizing off of this, and right? But there's another side to this. There's another side to that conversation that I don't see a lot of people addressing. Sure, we could say Lyor Cohen's a culture vulture. We could. Okay, all right. And that's just from the optics, because everybody likes to say this group against this group, likes to own this group, and like all of those things, right? Okay, we could say that, but the other side of that is, where would the capital come from if that person was not a part of the whole equation? Where would the capital come from? Where would the relationships come from in radio, television, ad campaigns? Where would the capital and the relationships come from if that person was not a part of this equation? And then when you start to look at it like that, it's like, okay, I got to start like assessing things from a different perspective. I'm never going to be a person that hates white folk. I'm never going to be a person that hates Indians. I'm never going to be a person that hates black folk. Well, some black folk. Not all. It's just some. You can't love everybody. You can't love everybody. You can appreciate, but you can't love everybody. But a lot of different relationships bring different value to our culture. A lot of relationships bring different values to our culture, so we cannot just write them off as culture vultures. Although it could seem a little vulture-y, a little vulture-ish. Now, there's another thing. When it comes to Dame, I think because he has had this same energy, who's the boss? You gonna let another guy, you don't let another dude be your boss? You gonna let another dude be your boss? He your daddy? Your boss is your dad. So you call another man. All of that type of energy right there, that is exactly, that's what lands you in the bankruptcy category. That's what lands you in the bankruptcy category. Because one, this is the first thing. Nobody wants to deal with the a-hole. Nobody wants to deal with somebody that always just have a certain energy. Honestly, the way I am, if you have a certain energy and you come into my space and I'm normally bubbly pop, I'm like, yeah, right? Beavis and Butthead. That's me all the time. That is my calm, happy energy. But if you come into my space and you change that energy and I have to deal with you for a certain amount of time, I'm going to deal with you for the certain amount of time that I need to deal with you because it's still business. I'm going to still deal with you. But when it comes back around and you say, yo, it's time for another album, can you send me some more beats? No. It is one artist out there right now, a major artist. All of y'all know who he is. It's a major artist that I produce. They asked me for beats for about 5 years. After that, I was like, no, every year after the initial meetup and the initial business that we did, after that, I'm never producing them again. I don't care if they hit Taylor Swift status. I'm never producing them again. The energy was just so bad. The energy was so bad, so disrespectful. Never dealing with them again in my life. But like I said, I have a short list of people that's like that. So when it comes to Dame, unfortunately, I think he's on a lot of people's lists. I think when he calls people's phones, they know, okay, your energy gonna be off. I don't really want to deal with this today. I don't feel like this. If Dame is in that space, what makes you think the folk are gonna spend money, bail him out, feel sorry for him? They're not feeling nothing. They're like, oh man, you effed up, ain't you? As they eat their ragu steak. Oh, bro, you effed up, bro. Boy, you seen Dame? Man, it's crazy. As you buy your new Cullinan. Boy, Dame, boy, man, you heard we had? Boy, it's crazy. He need $4,300, man. We just spent that on dinner. Dame he's in a lot of bad positions with people, and I really hope that he can get to some type of grounds wherein he's good again financially. Another thing before I go to the next video. Just another thing before I go to the next video. When you are an artist or when you are the business owner or the label owner, it is not reasonable for you to spend all of the money that you make and write it off as an investment. Dame has said, all right, this is not funny. It's not funny. It is funny, but it's not funny at the same time. Dame has said for years, as soon as I get it, I put it back. I reinvest it. I put it back to say, how much you done save, Dame? I ain't saving nothing. I'm investing everything. You got to make the flip. So for me, that is the hood street culture that he has to get rid of. I think as soon as Dame gets rid of the street culture mindset, he's great because Dame has a brilliant mind. Dame's mind is brilliant. He has coached so many people, including Jay, including Kanye, including Jim, he has coached so many people to a certain point in their careers, but now a lot of those folk has surpassed him. Why? How is it the person that you coach surpassed you in the field that you ushered them into. Because if you look, Dame has always, I think even Jay has said it, I'm not a rapper, I'm a businessman or something like that. I'm not a business, I'm a businessman. That's the infamous line, right? Double entendre. Then we got triple entendres and quad entendres. It's a lot of entendres, right? But what happened between that part to that part? Because Jay didn't necessarily qualify himself as a rapper. He said he's a businessman. Okay, cool. So that tells me that his business acumen exceeded where Dame could see himself going. And this is where it's very important who you surround yourself with. Yo, you got to watch them folk like white on rice. If them folk ain't doing with anything that's counterproductive, if you see folk in your space doing that, yo, counsel them. Get rid of them. Because at some point, they will sink your ship. They will punch little bitty baby holes in your ship, and it might be 5 years. It might be 10 years. It might be 20 years from now. Dame and Jay's relationship, we see it right here. It might tank the ship 20 years from now, but guess what? You kept them on your ship. That's your fault. So, hey, I don't know. How do we feel? Do we feel like Jay has done the right thing, or do we feel like Jay should try to bail Dame out? What do y'all feel? Because if you ask me, I don't feel like Jay should bail Dame out. Right? Whether he feels anything for him or not, it is what it is. I think like if Jay's anything like me, like it's up. If it's up in my book, it's up from now to the grave. And maybe I need to fix that, maybe not. But that's just how I am. If it's up, it's up. So anyway, let's go to the next subject. It's sad though. It's sad to see people like Dame do this, man. It's sad. So it's a girl that I got. They sent me some clips. I think she's Jamaican. But the question was, who's in the wrong, right? This particular girl, and I'm about to pull the clip up right now. She's a Jamaican girl. She dropped a single, and from what it sounds like she didn't pay for the beat, right? So I sent this to a few of my industry friends, and they were like, yeah, like, nah. It don't sound like she did anything in the proper space. So look, let's look at it, and let's assess it. I think from what I've heard so far, it sounds like she just don't know how to do good business. All she knows is the artist stuff. And that's cool. That's cool if all you know is the artistry, but there is more to your career than just artistry. All right, let's listen.
Bottom line. I'm going to tell you a story. Tell me if you can guess the producer. So a producer comes to me and says he has a written for me, but he has no budget. Lie.
What does this mean? Okay. Let's see. Avoid this Jamaican producer, because it's Jamaican flag. Avoid this Jamaican producer. He wants cat, not music. Okay.
Cool. I like the rhythm. So that means I have to pay for everything, and he still collects money. Now that I got the song to chart, this man wants to take down my song. I paid to voice myself. I booked my own studio session. I paid for my own writer. I paid for flyers, and I went out in the street and I asked people to download my song. I begged my friend Kraba for help. He made sure I had a video. He told me marketing strategies to do. I didn't ask this producer to do nothing. All he's doing is collecting free money. But he's mad because his logo is not on the YouTube video. You didn't pay for a video, babe. The videographer's logo is not even on the video. But you see, this is why I don't let producers upload my song. Why would you threaten?
Okay, all right. So, see, a girl like this would never make it to my studio. I would have, and this is exactly why. See, hold on, let me give myself a clap. This is exactly why I do coaching calls with people before we start doing any music, before I put one finger on any keyboard. I do coaching calls with the artist before, because I want to make sure, first off, this is my way of seeing what you're about. This is seeing what type of person are you, like what's the energy. Because some people, I'll produce them, but from afar. You're not going to come to my studio. I'll do a virtual session for like 30 minutes to an hour or something like that, especially if the energy is like this. But the story sounds off. Something about the story sounds off. I want to play it back.
Take down the song that I worked so hard on, my first song to chart. And I feel sorry sorry for your baby mother. Y'all, these are the type of men you don't sleep with. That's why I can't take with some of you uptown Jamaicans. You don't understand struggle. You didn't put no money in the song. All you're doing is collecting money. But you want to take down the song because you want to show your power. But the only power I recognize is God Almighty. That's the only person I got fear in. So take down the song. And I think you carrying pum-pum feelings, but I don't sleep with broke men, baby. That's bad luck. And matter of fact, I asked you to guess the producer. They will never guess you, Blizzy, because you're nobody. You're nobody. Y'all are so body.
Okay. That was a headache. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please get it off the screen right quick. Please stop. Stop it. Stop it. Get her. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go. Oh my God. That was a lot. She is a lot to deal with. Oh my God. Okay. So this is the first thing. Courtney, I know you heard that, yo. All right, so this is the first thing. It sounds like she did not pay for the beat. And the producer got mad because she didn't put his logo on the YouTube video. I don't understand what that means. Can y'all help me understand this? Because I don't get it. It sounds like she didn't pay for the beat. It sounds like he uploaded the beat because he did see that she could be a vibe. He saw that she could do some numbers. And now, as a result of her not paying for the beat, she was already going to have to pay him publishing and royalties on the back end. And see, this is another thing. I don't know that artists understand how a lot of this stuff works. When you're producing music or when you're doing music, you're normally going to get paid about 5-6 times. You're going to get paid about 5-6 times off of one song, right? One part of it is the publishing. Right? And the publishing breakdown counts for 100%. I should do a whole class on this. I should do a class. Oh, no, I'm going to get my homeboy David Pelham to come back and teach all this stuff. But you'll get 100% on publishing, 100% on the royalties, and then you got to start looking at all of the digital money that might come as a result of this. So you're talking about Meta, you're talking about YouTube, you're talking about Google's, MLC. It's a lot of different platforms that you're going to make money from, right? Well, that's why you have to have paperwork, baby. You got to have some type of paperwork to show people I own a piece of this. He deserves a piece of this, ... If you don't have that in place and you just went to the studio and you rapped on somebody's beat and you said, I'm going to go ahead and take it and upload it, that is your fault. And this is why Shazam. This is why I dislike link up, vibe out culture. This is why I don't like link up, vibe out culture. Don't come to the studio to vibe out. It's not your job to come to the studio to vibe out. What are you doing? What you should do is vibe out at the house with the record, especially if you're a person that more so go find the beat that you like, write to it, sing, rap to it. That is your job to get your own setup at the house. Get your own setup. Larry says she didn't honor him. No recognition. Okay, so this is the thing. I'm okay with the recognition and not being recognized. Okay, cool. But if she didn't pay for my whole thing is gonna always go back to who didn't get paid. Who didn't get paid, right? And I'm not gonna say the name of the artist because this happened a few times in my earlier career. As of the last 10 years or so, I don't F with people like that. Y'all got to get a beat off the website. You're not coming to the studio. Nope. You ain't coming over to my house. Smoke no weed. You ain't doing none of that. No, you're not doing that in my house. Nope. So what I noticed is this, and this is for a few artists that would come to Atlanta. What they would do is they'll come in. They knew that they were going to pay me $2,500, right? The $2,500 was gonna be for the beat, for the studio session, for the mix and master. I was doing a lot of stuff for the $2,500, right? Well, what the artist would do, and I would allow them to do that, and I cut that out years ago. But I would say, all right, well, just give me half or whatever up front. As soon as you get to the studio, just shoot me the other half, and we good on everything. Well, what will happen is artists they'll pay me the first half. This is more so the hood artists. I've never dealt with this with white folk. Just facts being facts. I've never dealt with this with Indians. In music, too. I produced some Indian artists. I've never dealt with this with white folk or Indians. Always be the hood black folk. I've never dealt with this with the cultured black folk. The cultured black folk always know, okay, there's a protocol to what we're doing. I love the art. Yo, Mag, I love the art. Yo, Grammy, can we take a picture in front of the Grammy? Da, 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 da. They do all of that stuff. It's cool, right? But when it comes to the sound and the everything, they already know this costs. It's always the hood crowd. Always the hood crowd. So what I would do, I say, especially my D-boys. D-boys love to come to the studio back in the day. So I said, all right, cool. Go ahead and pay me the $1,250. That's half of $2,500. Pay me the $1,250. Come in, we'll do the record, and then you pay me the other half. Cool. All right. That was the agreement. That agreement was on paper. Right? What the hood dudes would do is they'll say, all right, bro, I'm gonna give you the $1,250. They get to the studio, man. I can almost count it like clockwork. I could count it like back to back. I already knew what they were gonna do. Man, we were gonna try to hit Magic while we're here, so we could blow one of the other records up and go ahead and hit the city. Da, da, da. And so, what in essence, what they were saying they were gonna do is promote the record without paying me the rest of my money. They were going to hit the strip club and try to get the DJ to play the record without paying me my money. That is not the way that the business works. That's not the way this works. So now you make me the bad guy because now I don't have too many other options to get my money back. I don't have too many other options. I'm either going to have to do like it sounds like this producer did, upload the record to DSPs. You have to come to me and we work our paperwork out on the back end like that. Or we hold the record. I don't release any files until you pay the money. But at some point, watch this. This is why the producer gets locked out. This is why we get locked out. If you hold the record that the artist came to your studio to produce, if you hold that record at ransom for the rest of your money, now the record that you produce ain't making no motion. It ain't in the streets. Ain't nobody listening to it. The artist is going to just be like, I'm going to write a song and I'm going to do the same song to somebody else's beat. And then they're going to go to another producer and do the same. So now what happens? You are locked up. This is exactly why I don't do as much music business as I used to do. This is why I got into real estate. This is why I believe in 9 to 5s. This is why I'm like, yo, you will be broke just trying to pursue the art. You will be broke. You better find some type of business to add to that art, right? So these are the things that the other producers ain't gonna tell y'all because they just hold these stories in, and you say, man, it's like it becomes a story a roundabout story that we talk about in the studios, but nobody really speaks on in public because you don't want to mess up the relationship with the artist because the artist got the relationship with the DJ and the DJ got the relationships with the label guy and the label guy holds all of the money. So if you don't place the record, now you ain't got no publishing coming in. How can y'all tell I've lived this before? Can you tell I've lived this before? So no, I get her perspective and her wanting to say, it's because he wants some poom poom. Honestly, I don't think he wants any poom poom. I think he just wants his bread. Now, what's his artist name? The Real Star Gal. The Real Star Gal. If that is the situation and you did not pay for the beat, all right, my apologies. Or let's say you did pay for the beat and now he's just doing some dirty stuff. Okay, cool. But you got to look at the energy that you portray. Matter of fact, let's do this. And I normally don't do this, but let's do this. I'm going to pull up her page and we're going to see what type of time she on. Because if you got all of your boobs and stuff out every video, if you came into the studio flirty and you use that as a sale to get him to give you some beats for free, then let's see what she look like. All right, so let's see. And y'all can't see this on TikTok, only the people on Patreon. Join the Patreon, you can see everything. All right, so she's cute. All right, like she had a BBL done, like she had the boob job done. All right, so she got the traditional girl. She got the traditional girl body work done as far as the girl artist, like how Nicki did and all that stuff. All right, so this is the thing. if she used any of this stuff as a sale for that producer, and you're riding around in a Lamborghini, and it looks like it probably is yours, either as leased or you own it, and you got Christian Dior bags, the big bags too. I got a little small. Anyway, you got the big Christian Dior bag. Like, I'm going to hold your record at ransom as well. And you just post it. See, look, this is stuff that don't nobody talk about. She's posting that she made $300,000 in 10 minutes selling her feminine wash. Pay that man for that beat. Pay that man for that beat. Stop playing. Pay that man for that beat. Because this is the stuff that I be like, this is when I see new producers, this is exactly why I normally try to get them to get off of trying to place records with artists. This is why I tell all new producers, don't worry about trying to place records with artists. The placements and all that stuff, F that. Figure out a way to make your art dope enough where people just want to hear the beat. Or they just want to see you create the beat. Or they just want to be in your presence. They just think you're a cool guy. Like, figure out different ways to monetize the music. The artist route is only one variable. You got so many other things. You can get commercials. You can place the commercial just to beat. You can score the film. You can do a lot of stuff. But see, now we start getting into who owns the music. This is why I be getting mad at the sample packs. The sample pack crew. All y'all sample pack crew, I love y'all. Right? Y'all bought my sample packs too. But the difference is, if you buy my sample pack, you know me as the producer. You have a direct email. I'm constantly online doing something. You could place the record on with one of my sample packs and just say, Mag, I use a sample pack for this. What's the percentage? I need the clearance. I'm going to clear it. But what y'all be doing is y'all use Splice or y'all use Output, y'all use some of these other platforms, and you create this dope music, but you don't own the rights to it. So now you limit the success financially because you have a sample pack sound that you don't know how to clear. Right? Think about this stuff. This is stuff I think about. Join the Patreon. Join the Patreon. That's all I'm going to say. Last but not least, this is oh my God. This is something else as it relates to production, right? Along with stealing beats, right? I don't think the way I look at music now in its entirety, I don't see music as just a song or just an album. I don't see music like that no more. I look at music as content. All music is content, right? So if you look at content in a general sense, it belongs everywhere. You can do everything with content. People can repurpose it with the reel. They can use it in their stories. They can put it in commercials, as I said earlier. They can put it in film, as I said earlier. Or they could even use, if it's a certain sound, they could use that in like a laundry dryer alert. It was a funny thing. My laundry room is in my basement, right? So a lot of the times I'll just throw a shirt in there real quick, bam, 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 get in and get out, right? And every time my washer and the dryer goes off, the dryer has a certain sound like, right? And I'm like, oh, that was crazy. The washer does that. The dryer says, right? So I was just thinking, who created that syncopation for that sound? And do they own the rights? Do they own the rights to that sound? Or did they sell the sound to Whirlpool? And this is the stuff that I think about like as a producer all the time, because there are so many places where music is and where it belongs. And I think we limit the possibilities again with trying to place with artists. So this guy, I don't think I've heard of the production company, but I do know about a lot of the records that they've produced. So this is one guy, and shouts out to Mr. Lee, dope content creator. I love his stuff. But Mr. Lee just posted this link from, I guess, Dr. Raspberry Sky as a DJ. He produced a record, and he's saying that LMA and Mustard and them stole the beat. All right, so I'm gonna play this because I'm fascinated by people that say they stole something versus you wasn't on top of your business, right? I'm gonna give my father-in-law all of that acumen. My father-in-law was big on make sure you prepare for the success of something. Everybody always prepare for the failure, right? We always prepare for the worst. Make sure you prepare for the worst. Make sure you have a plan B, all that stuff. That's what's normally said. But what happens if you prepare for the best? If you prepare for the success of something? Most people don't do that. So let me bring this up to the stage. I want him to come up, and we're going to end after this and get out of here. All right, let's see what he got.
This is going to bother me, but...
Uh-oh, my bad. My bad, y'all. My bad. Here we go.
It needs to be said.
All right.
So 2010.
Ella May, a pretty something, ain't she? Look at Ella May. Look at that. Look at it. Hold on. Ooh, look at Ella May. Hey, Ella May.
I had a production team called the Go-Getters with my friend Kenneth Allman.
Okay.
And we made this smash record. Ballad. R&B ballad. We knew that it was going to be...
White guys normally have their business together. How you get screwed? All right, I'm done.
big.
Let us
If
out.
the right person got on it. Now imagine, fast forward, 8 years later,
Okay.
it goes on to become the biggest R&B smash of 2018. Problem is, our name wasn't on it. No credit.
Not funny.
No money. Nothing. We received nothing. I'm going to play the record. This is what we made in 2010. I'm going to make this. And then you comment. You tell me who this is and what song it is. I'm not going to say it. I want you to say it. You tell me what's up. We produced that in 2010.
Whose song do y'all think? Does it sound like any Ella May's records? All right.
Now, in 2018, here comes this record.
That was 2010.
Smash record.
2018. Okay. I know exactly what happened. All right. Hold on. I know exactly what happened.
You tell me, what should I do? And who was it? And what record is it? You tell me. Why and how the fuck?
Oh man. Oh no, wait. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Alright, so y'all I know y'all like, why is he laughing? They clearly stole his record. Okay. Oh Jesus. This is where the harsh truths come in. I'm gonna say it like my Indian friends. I love my Indian friends. My Indian friends be saying truth. They never say truth. But they say truth. I love my Indian friends. So let me give you the truth. This is the truth. This is the truth right here. There is something in the music business called a sample replay, right? Normally a lot, and I'm laughing because a lot of people have hired me from different labels to do a sample replay, right? I'm not going to tell y'all the name of the records. Just know there's something that we do. Whenever there's a sample replay, sometimes it's because they can't get in contact with the artist. Sometimes they can't get in contact. Well, more so producer. They can't get in contact with the producer, so they'll hire somebody like me to come in and replay a record, right? And in that replay, though, when you do that replay, they say, hey, can you change the position of something? Can you change the chords? Can you change the keys? Can we change the rhythm? What can we do to make this a different song? And the whole objective of a sample replay is so they don't have to pay for masters, right? They don't have to pay the master person, that whoever produced the record. So let's say Universal signs this new artist, right? And the new artist has a record from Ray Charles. Everybody knows Ray Charles was signed to Atlantic Records, right? And let's say they don't want to pay that sample clearance to Atlantic. Universal don't want to pay that sample clearance because this artist just created a smash. And they're like, yo, this record is doing really, really dope on socials, and we just got to get this joint put out. That's exactly why a lot of times you'll see an artist drop a song and it goes crazy viral, right? And let's say that song is a part of a sample pack, i.e. output or any of this other stuff, and they can't clear the sample. What they'll do is say, okay, before it keeps going crazy and start doing another 1 million, 2 million per round, we need to figure out how we can redo this. What they'll do is they'll hire me to come in. I'll replay the record. Once I replay the record, they'll put that version of the song out on DSPs, and now they can fully monetize it for anything. Like, they can get licensed, they can get commercials, they can do whatever they need to do to get that record popping, right? So the difference is now, this is what the difference is. When you have an artist, and this is exactly why I did a whole sale yesterday. A lot of y'all didn't take advantage of that either. I was kind of disappointed. A lot of folk, it was a few people that took advantage of it, but what I did yesterday, I did a name your price on my website. And the name your price, I don't think people will they just stop reading. And I did a whole carousel and everything. It took my good time to do that for y'all. But anyway, what the name your price was for is because I know a lot of independent artists that's broke, and y'all be going to YouTube to try to get the beats. Well, I was like, well, yo, you name the price, and, I'll say yeah, no, and you'll get the exclusive rights to the beat. That does not mean that we won't bust down the publishing on the back end. But what that does mean is you could do whatever you need to do with the record, and you don't have to worry about somebody coming after you saying you don't own the rights to that. I.e., how you get a beat from YouTube and you're trying to figure out a way to monetize it, you can't upload that beat to DSPs. If you download a beat from YouTube today, you bet not upload that to DSPs, because what's going to happen is, if it's the person like me, I'm going to send you a cease and desist order. And if I send you a cease and desist order, you could keep that same record on all DSPs, but you will collect no money. I'm going to collect all of the money on your behalf because you didn't go through the proper clearance procedure. So now, if you go to a major label's perspective, let's say that this guy, because clearly the chords are the exact same, right? Clearly the chords are the exact same. But let's say this guy did not have all of his paperwork together. Let's say that the label did try to reach out. Let's say that the label A&R said, yo, I reached out to the producer and they never got a response. And let's say, as a producer, the email that the label sent you got in your junk email. It never made it to your main inbox. This is why I check my stuff all the time. I'm always checking my emails. This is why. Because what'll happen is, now the label is now in a bunch. They don't know how they're going to get this record to clear to the point where they can sell it. Because this is the stuff that producers don't be looking at. Again, join the Patreon. If you join the Patreon, I teach so much stuff to producers. I teach so much stuff. But as a producer, what you don't realize is your beat is only 5% of the process. If you think about it like that, it'll change your life. The beat that you give the artist is only 5% of the process out of 100. And let's say, now we'll give them 10. We'll say that. The beat that you give the artist is only 10% of the process. Now, like this girl, the Jamaican girl, she still has to go back and promote the record. How much money do they have to spend to promote the record? We're looking at wardrobe. We're looking at locations. We're looking at music videos. We're looking at photographers. We're looking at crafty services, which is food for the people that don't know what crafty is. That's the food that you got to have on set for the people while they're there recording the video for you. Then they have to go through a whole nother round of paying for stuff, which is the radio promo. And you got to get on all of the DSPs and get on all of the playlists on the DSPs. That costs a certain amount. Keep in mind, all of this money is being spent and you're still not recouping no money just yet. You're just spending. So when we talk about the $250,000 to $250,000 that people have to spend to try to get their records popping and all this stuff, that's where the money is going to. All of this stuff, the record's going to all this stuff, right? And then the hope is that you did all of the stuff that you're supposed to have done, and you start recouping a lot of the money that you paid on the front end. You start recouping it on the back end. This is exactly why labels will hold the money before they start paying royalties, before they start paying publishings. This is why this stuff happens. And again, I think the 360 deal, or the idea of a 360 deal, has gotten a bad rep over time because people don't really understand why the label could do this. Like, why could they just take my money? They're not taking your money. They're recouping the money that they already spent. And let's say the person says, let's say the artist says, well, I know good and D well, them chartered vans and them hotels, I know that ain't cost no $5,000. Okay, if it didn't cost $5,000, prove it. Now it goes back to the artist. How much of the homework have you done around the craft? If you have not done enough of the homework, it's on you to get screwed. You're bound to get screwed. So this is, again, I don't disagree with 360 deals. I think 360 deals is an okay medium for labels to get their money back. But on the flip side, artists bring some type of leverage to the table. Bring some leverage to the table. If you're not in the position to fully invest into your art, then you got time. If you don't have money, you got time. Trust me. And if you ain't got time or money, you're doing something completely wrong. So artists, this is what I'm going to say. When it comes to 360 deals, it just exists. It's a 360 deal is the buffer between the label making their money back and the artist recouping, and the artist getting all the stuff they need. Because guess what? Without one, the other can't happen. If the artists don't have the label putting the money behind a lot of the stuff that they got going on, you will be sitting, grinding your wheels for years. Trust me. You'll be grinding for years trying to get that recognition in between financing the dream and this is another thing. One last thing. Artists, understand when you don't have a good plan. Understand when you don't have a good plan for your own career. And then also recognize when somebody else has a better plan for you. Right? I think a lot of people underestimate the value of a good plan, and they write it off to, this person just gave me some advice. There it is, I said it. Because when it comes to business, and I'll use, what up, Big Derek, what up? But when it comes to business, if I would look at all of the restaurants that I've either done food reviews for, or that I've coached, or some of the business owners that does tax preparation services, or any of this stuff, churches and all this stuff, right? If I look at how they value a coaching call versus how artist, musician, producer values coaching call, it's completely different. The companies and the businesses that pay top dollar, I told y'all, $15 to $2,000 for a coaching call for a business. For me, right? I marked that down to $500 for artists. Why? The only difference is the company and the business that pays that money understands if I implement that strategy, I'm going to get some type of return. Once I get that return, that $1,500 or that $2,000 that I pay him, that's a few hours worth of work for us. So I'm going to pay him again for the money that he's generating me. Because if you give somebody $2,000 and that person helps you generate a business model, or that person helps you generate strategy to get in front of people that generate $30,000, you're going to pay the $2,000 every day. You're going to pay the $2,000 every day. So I think this is what I think. I think a lot of artists don't have brands. A lot of artists don't have good products. A lot of y'all got passion products. The passion product is cool. It's cool. But if you don't have some type of utility for the product that you're offering to people, then you got to start figuring out a different way to rework your plan. You got to figure out a different way to rework the plan. So anyway, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm done. Everybody that's interested in joining my Lucrative community, the Lucrative community is right now on Patreon. You can join right now on Patreon for the free. And then I got different tiers. So I got different tiers. I got the free tier, and I got a $10 tier, and I got a $20 tier. The $10 tier is the people that pretty much get the most time from me. I'm going to be reaching out to those people on a consistent basis. Like right now, we're doing a 30-day Black Friday Blueprint Challenge, and I want to help everybody figure out ways to just promote your own businesses, right? So that is for my $10 tier, but the free tier still got the first week. You're getting the first free week of coaching. All of that's on Patreon right now. The $10 tier, I will see y'all every Monday for the rest of this month. And we're going to just get everything built up, get all y'all plans situated. And then after that, we're going to have some different masterminds, and we're going to have some different events, some meetups. I'm doing some studio sessions, virtual and live. So we got a lot going on. So make sure you tap into the Patreon if you want to tap in with me on a deeper level. And I'm going to see y'all next week. All right, peace.